Hello, hello, hello. How are you all doing? Okay. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Sunday. I am. All right. Look at the subject matter and let me know if you are familiar with our title today. Um, Tina and the people who are returning from Saturday's live stream. Obviously, all is forgiven. Tina Baldwin Birds, I am assuming that you are forgiving me um, for subjecting you to the feed the people by you know who. Tina, is all forgiven. All is well, dear. Baldwin Birds. All right. Hit that like button, folks, as you enter the chat room. How are you doing? I will do the roll call momentarily. And Chubbs, let me know if you have forgiven me for subjecting your ears to such a bad song by someone who feels that they have talent. Let me know that all is well and I have been forgiven. U.S. Army in Florida, I don't know. It may take them a little longer to get over it. Oh my God. Tina said, "We love you, Mr." Okay, thank you. Tina has forgiven me. Thank you so much. I will do the roll call and we will get started. Jason, how are you doing? Florida's here. If you want me to call your name out during the roll call, all you need to do is say hello, send an emoji. If not, I cannot see that you are here. All right, Florida, of course, the station manager is always here. Baldwin Birds, how are you doing? Tina, of course, who also is an ardent supporter of the channel. Love you for that. Thank you so much, Tina, for your support. Bakmari, how are you doing? And Muna is always here. Thank you, Mayor. Laurie, just in time. Yes. Again, there are thousands, if not millions, of content creators here on YouTube. So the fact that you decide to spend your very valuable time here is very much appreciated. All right. Hit that like button. Share this out on your various forms of social media. And let's go over this title. Now, we know what happened to the rappers who Trump invited to his ball, his gala, after he was inaugurated. Um, they were pretty much canceled and called everything but a child of God. We all remember, I think it was Snoop Dogg and a few others. So the liberals who are always telling us to be open minded and diversity, equity, and inclusion, that does not uh, that is not in effect if you have a difference of ideology. Tijuana Border Jumper, how you doing, love? We're glad you're here. We're just starting. You're not late, dear. Tell me what you know about this subject matter. Imuna, Shalom, how are you doing, dear? Um, so again, they're always telling us about inclusivity and they're always telling us, hey, you know, they support everyone. Fridge Reaver, how are you doing? And we know that is just not the case. If you subscribe to their ideology, yes, it is. But if not, you can forget it. They throw you away like a piece of garbage. They'll stop talking to you, unfollow, unsubscribe, unfriend, you name it, they do it. So 50 Cent, now, how many of you are old enough to remember this happened recently? And some white residents in Louisiana were accused of racism. They were going and, starting their own little town because, I mean, some places in Louisiana are really bad and they didn't want their children going to those schools. And as a public school educator for the past 27 years, I approve of that message. There is no way I would allow my children, if I had children, there's no way I would allow them to attend public school. I would do everything in my means to send them to a private school, a reputable private school or charter school. Tijuana border jumper. I know they espouse hate if you support MAGA, MAHA, yes, or President Trump's agenda. Yes, it's a hate, hate, hate. Tijuana border jumper, you've been here on the channel. I've done videos on that. Remember the guy up at Oregon State University? He told people who voted for Trump to just unalive themselves and all of these things. So it's pure hate. And for those that don't know, April 5th, keep your eyes open. I may have to do a live stream. Um, April 5th is a day that the libs and Democrats are setting aside, is a day to protest against Trump and his policies. So keep your eyes open for that. We're going to see where that goes. They do not like anything that he's doing. And so that's their day that they've set aside to protest. They can protest all they want. I'll be home watching probably one of my old shows like Gunsmoke or The Rifleman or who knows, the Jeffersons, Sanford and Sons, something like that, all in the family. They are wasting their time. This is what, again, the American people have wanted. He's doing what he said he was going to do. And so I'll take this any day over what has happened in this country for the past 4 years. Hit that like button for me. U.S. Army is back. Thank you for your service, sir. Chubbs, thank you for your service, sir. U.S. Army, have you forgiven me? You and Florida and some other subscribers yesterday told me that I destroyed your hearing and I subjected you to the super mayor. And I don't know who told her she could sing or rap, but that is not the case. Bobcat Philo, how are you doing? United States Republic of Morocco, not Burger King. Okay, Bobcat, I think you're new here. Welcome to the channel. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoy this content. U.S. Army said all is forgiven. Tijuana border jumper, you were not here yesterday. Florida, okay. Everyone has forgiven me. How you doing, Lanita? Florida and U.S. Army and several other subscribers were like, oh my God, why are you subjecting us to this? And I said, hey, misery loves company. Truth bomb. Shalom. How you doing, Queen? Yeah, I hope that you're great. Chubbs, notice how Dems always protest. I believe they get up in the morning, looking in the mirror and say to themselves, yeah, Chubbs, they don't get it. This is, again, the referendums that the American people set forth. Hey, they're against everything that the American people want. So let them continue. They'll never win another election, which is good. And I love it. All right. So look at this, folks. 50 Cent, the rapper. Now, again, if you're just coming in, remember when Snoop Dogg and any of the other rappers, but I think the most prominent is probably Snoop Dogg, went to the inaugural ball. They canceled him. I think he lost 500,000 followers on Instagram and all his other forms of social media. People were upset. Again, the liberals, the Democrats, they are pure hate. That's all. Tina, yes, Roland Martin's a total disgrace. And you know he will continue to fan the flames of victimhood and white supremacy and racism is the reason why you cannot make it in this country. That's his mantra. He's doing what his Democratic slave masters tell him to do. He's saying what they tell him to say. Tell me what you think about this. So 50 Cent is a business owner and he is investing in Louisiana. And so I want you to listen to what Roland has to say. And I also want you to listen to his guest, what he has to say. Muna, thank goodness we don't have to hear Tiffany today. I'm pretty sure she's Muna. Muna has forgiven me as well. Thank God. Thank you. All right, how you doing, Tina? Tina, join us on. Say hello, Tina, so everyone can see you here and acknowledge that you're here. The U.S. Army retired. The only thing keeping blacks are blacks. Yeah, and I was never taught. I was not allowed to make excuses. The only way you're not able to make it is you're the problem. I often tell my students, if I see you 20 years from now, I don't want you still singing this same song about what mother and father did or did not do for you. You have to pick yourself up. Stop with the victimhood. How you doing, Beverly? How you doing, Ruby? Ruby's here. Uh-oh, here comes trouble. And we all have good as well as bad things to happen to us in our life. That is part of the human element. Florida, I agree. I'm still recuperating. Florida's not letting it go. And so I promise I won't do that to you. Florida, I love you. I won't do that to you today. And so Queen said 50 Cent is an awesome business owner. He follows the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Queen gets it. Yeah. And he's bringing business there to some very impoverished areas. And, well, I'll play the video. Mayor, your students are fortunate. Mayor, thank you, Mayor. I tell them the way you hear me talk on here, this is how I talk in my classroom. And I tell them, stop with the excuses, stop with the victimhood. And I teach students of all races and ethnicities. And I stand up there in front of when I'm talking to them about, the courses I teach are career and technical education courses. So we help students choose a career pathway. We have them to take the courses in that pathway. We give them job shadowing opportunities. We take them on field trips. Oh, okay, thank you, Florida. All is forgiven then. Great. And so I tell them, no excuses. If there are too many programs, thank you, Tina. I try to be a blessing. Some get it, some don't. As I tell you, I have students at Ivy League universities. I have students at the local county lockup and some in prison. Make a choice, right? Stop with the white supremacy. This is the Democratic mantra. You can't make it because of white supremacy. If you believe in God, who is above God? I'll wait. Type it in the comment section. If you're diligently working, trying to become a success, you don't have time to be over here complaining. I can't make it because of fill in the blank. That's an excuse. I don't want to hear it. And I was not allowed to make excuses. I had to produce. I had to perform. Showing them the resources available. Yes, Queen, that's what we do. As CTE, the CTE teachers at my school, we help students. They take our classes. And even if they don't want our particular pathway, I have students now that want to work on, I don't know, diesel mechanics. I don't teach diesel mechanics, but they're in my classes. I told them, and they just signed up for their courses for next year, you need to take our auto mechanics classes. We offer several. And so that's what we do. No excuse. There are too many programs. If you have work ethic is everything. This is what I tell my students. Part of my job is I help students get jobs. If you've been here for a while, you've heard me say one of the courses I teach is food science. Students get certifications in my class, and I help them get jobs. They can work in fast food. They can work in Walmart, in the deli section, bakery section. They can work in Food Line or other grocery stores as well. Yes, he is. Monique, you're glad that Trump is eliminating the Department of Education. I am too. American education has been failing for years. If you look at the business model, let's be real. American education, public schools have the monopoly. And these Democrats try to keep what? School voucher programs out. Now, those that don't know, every time a child leaves public schools, guess what? That money, that federal money follows them wherever they go. So the schools don't want to lose that money, that funding. It's all about money. It's not about the students. Anytime you hear someone say that education is about the student, they're telling you a bald-faced lie. It's about everything except the student is way down the totem pole. Money is the primary factor, and it is what it is. Queen, I used to be in education and had a student who was a leader, but he was leading negatively. Yeah, I showed him a future. He became a different student after that. I told him I expect great things from you. Yes, Queen, good job. Keep doing it. Tijuana Border Jumper, thank you for the super chat. I'm working 2 full-time jobs, so don't tell me there are no opportunities. You'll have to want it. Tijuana Border Jumper. When I hear students, thank you for saying that. And I say that all the time. Well, anytime I hear a student, I don't want to work fast food. What do you mean you don't want to work fast food? You don't have a job now. And now they're paying more than minimum wage. Some are paying 10, some are paying $12, $13 an hour. But you're too good for fast food? It's work ethic, folks. Those hearts are for you. Thank you so much, Tijuana Border Jumper, for your super chat. Let me get this video started. You know what we're dealing with, folks. The victimhood is real. And I tell students, you stop blaming your bad decisions on a whole race of people. They're choices and decisions that you made. And when some students come to me, well, this teacher is racist, I tell them, I don't want to hear it. Go in there, sit down, shut your mouth, and do your classwork. You're in there for a short period of time. What's the problem? Right. Right, Queen. All right, let's listen to this crap.
We're always telling you.
Now, those that don't know, we've said, remember, Roland Martin is part of the Black Bullet. What he's wearing there is his fraternity regalia. He is an alpha, okay? That's the Greek fraternity that he is a part of. Immuna, their education system can go, no worries, my grands will be. Immuna, that's the best thing you can do. Ruby, I advocate technical school. Diesel mechanics start at $50K in some area. Yes, Ruby, yes. All right, listen to this guy. Listen to him.
You must exercise your power. You must not sit on the side.
Get rid of the commercial. So again, he's all about victimhood, getting people to vote. We know he's a Democratic shield. Fishing Kid, we need more teachers like you. Thank you, Fishing Kid. I just tell them the truth, Fishing Kid. I don't blow smoke up their rear. And I just tell them what it is. Stop with the excuses. Go out here and work hard. Yeah. And they're whispering on a hot mic. They don't know it. And then, of course, Roly Poly's going to make a big deal about it. Hold on. I don't know how we got that far. Here we go. Let me show you the proposed Louisiana. I'll leave that up so you can see that. All right. Amendment 1, establishing specialty courts. These are proposed Louisiana constitutional amendments. Amendment 2, changing the tax law. Amendment 3, empowering the legislature to decide when juveniles should be charged as adults with felony crimes. Amendment 4, setting judicial election dates. All right, so let's hear this crap.
Changing the tax law, establishing specialty courts, changing the dates of judicial elections, and things along those lines. Now, these, of course, we talk about constitutional amendments that means that they're actually going to be placed in the Constitution. Okay, that means that's the law. It is very, very hard to actually change that. Well, you got folks there who are in Louisiana, African Americans, who have really been going around the state, really holding town halls and trying to get our folk to understand the impact of these elections. In fact, the powercoalition.org, they've been working with Gary Chambers Inc. to do so. This is
So if you heard what he said, the Power Coalition, i.e., let me break it down for you, an extended arm of the Democratic Party. They are pushing this, of course, the Democratic agenda. And if you can see this, they're telling people how to vote. Yes, Ruby, he's a beta. Beta male is an alpha. And so you see what they have for each amendment. They're telling them to vote no. This is the Democratic, right, party. They tell people literally how to vote. Thank you, Laura. You are as well, dear. And so I'm leaving that up so you can look at that for a moment. Hit that like button for me, please, folks. Proposed Amendment 1. Again, I just read that. Amendment 2. 3, 4, and then of course Roland has a guest speaker on here that's going to tell you why they're telling everyone to vote no. Now, let me tell you, voter turnout has been abysmal, right? And remember all the people who sat home for the presidential election? A lot of them are still choosing the couch. The couch may win during the midterms. How you doing, Brother Sean? Thanks for the heads up. Yes. I try to share things with you that are relevant, that, sometimes we all get busy and we just missed something. Brother Sean, let me know what you know about this info. Queen, they're still promoting from school to prison for profit. Queen, they're always accusing educators of creating this pipeline. I don't create a pipeline from the school to the prison. That's the parents when you don't raise your children. Parents create that pipeline. I have nothing to do with it. I can only work with what you send me. So anytime I hear that, oh, no, ma'am, no, sir. And sometimes when the parents come up to the school, that explains a lot. Lanita, every time I see him, I remember him looking at man booty. Lanita, that is kind of hard to forget, isn't it? Yes, Bach. Thank you, Bach. Yeah, hit the like button. And those of you who have Facebook and other forms of social media, please share this out. You never know. We can bring more people into the conversation. Okay, I'm going to go on. I think maybe we all had time to look at these amendments. And again, the correspondence that they're passing out to the in the Black communities, as you can see, it's telling them how to vote. I'll continue.
A graphic that they put up. You can access. I put this on all my social media outlets, y'all. So you can go grab it from my Instagram page, my Twitter page, fan base, Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook. I posted on all of them. And so they're saying say no to all of the constitutional amendments. You see at the bottom right here, you got any problem voting, call 866-OUR-VOTE. You also have, of course, how you can find your polling place and district. You go to powercoalition.org/vote.
Robert is asking why Roland Martin won't try and advocate to get families like that poor woman whose 2 kids died. It doesn't, Robert, it doesn't fit the Democratic agenda. He, just like the other Democratic shills, the puppets, the plants, they are reading and following the liberal agenda. They do not stray from that, or they will they'll reel them back in. All right. I hope that answers your question, Robert. Tina, what he's not explaining, the amendments for the states and the amendments for the country is 2 different amendments. Exactly, Tina. Yep, Immuna, Waterhead. There we go.
And so, and again, so activist Gary Chambers Jr. has really been focused on this. So Gary hit me up today, and he said that, oh, these Republicans are real scared. And so they have been using, of course, using text messages that have been going to Black folks. I saw somehow I'm posting on social media. They don't even live in Louisiana, and they got a text message. And so you might say, well, who are they utilizing? Who are they having push stuff out? Would you believe rapper 50 Cent? Now, 50 Cent just signed a 45-year lease agreement for his studio buildings in Shreveport, Louisiana. This is the video Gary sent me that they have been sending around with 50 Cent backing one of these constitutional amendments. I want y'all to listen.
This is Curtis James Jackson. You might know me as 50 Cent. I have a special message for the people of Louisiana. As you may have heard, I'm now a proud Louisiana property and business owner working hard to bring film and television industry back to Louisiana. I'm working because I have an opportunity to use my influence and make real change in the communities. I want to see more jobs and prosperity in the state of Louisiana. This is why I support the Amendment 2 on your ballot this Saturday. You should too. Don't let anyone confuse you about the Amendment 2. It gives teachers permanent pay raise. It doubles senior citizens tax deduction. This is all good stuff. Voting in favor of the Amendment 2 makes common sense. And this is a bipartisan effort. Every Louisiana State Senate Democrat voted to get the Amendment 2 on the ballot. This one is about the people coming together. This is Curtis James Jackson. You might know me as 50 Cent.
Okay.
And Queen, the Dems are so behind it. There were some parents whose behavior was worse than the children. Yes. Queen, you're absolutely right. I could tell you some stories, Queen. And now you see what 50 Cent said. He's trying to bring jobs. That's not the Democratic way, folks. They want you dependent on the government so they can give you their little crumbs in the form of welfare, which you never really have anything. You just have enough to subsist. It's just subsistence, but you never rise above that. So 50 Cent's talking about bringing jobs and revitalizing some downtrodden areas. That's not what the Democrats are about. Yes, Queen, he is trying to handle business and making jobs for Americans. Tina, we know the Democrats don't believe in making jobs for Americans. They're not doing anything for Americans. So so we all understand what this is about. Robert said, check out Danny C's post. She went to show an illegal migrant shelter when homeless Americans should be there and said, right, Robert, that again, what about Americans? How can the Democratic Party expect to continue to exist when all you do is mistreat and discriminate against Americans? That's what they do. Mayor, it's a slavery mindset that that's exactly right. They don't want Americans to have jobs. They want them dependent on the government. That's what it's about. Here we go.
A special message.
All right. Well, again, 50 Cent just showed up in Louisiana very recently. Let's talk to somebody who was a lifelong resident of Louisiana, activist Gary Chambers Jr. So, Gary, you sent me that this morning. So you heard 50 Cent there talking about Amendment 2. This is from the Power Coalition. They say this amendment would change some of Louisiana's rules about taxes, government spending, and teachers' pay. It is a grab bag of changes, but at its core, it cuts funding for early, special, and K-12 education, as well as roads and infrastructure maintenance. Explain.
Thank you again, Roland, for having us be a part of this conversation. You know, I wish 50 would have tried something else today other than interfering in our politics. But the reality is it's about what's good for him. But the truth.
Now, this guy, this so-called activist, he's a Democratic shield. He's a plant and a puppet. So, Queen, they're into dividing the family, causing the family to depend on the government. Who is your daddy? Uncle Sam with his absent self. Queen. Yes, exactly. That's what they're about. Queen, you called it. Yep.
Of this is, Roland, they are restructuring the entirety of our tax code to help people like 50 Cent. Out-of-state business owners are going to be able to get more money in tax deductions in order to pay for this. People who are working class folks, school teachers, bus drivers, people who are auto mechanics.
Ruby has an excellent point. Thank you, Ruby. Shreveport's population is 56% Black. The white population is 36%. 8% is other, and they have a Republican governor. Game over, Democrats. Yes, exactly. And remember again, when the white people who decided to form their own town, that wasn't racism. No one wants to send their kids to failing schools. I don't know. Well, people who care about their children, okay? People who don't feel that educators are professional babysitters. I'll continue.
People who are people that work in restaurants, you're going to end up paying more in taxes because they're taxing more things in sales taxes. Teachers, this is a stipend that they're going to make permanent. It is not a raise. Teachers are not going to get any additional money in their pay. And a matter of fact, because of the changes in the sales taxes, their money is going to get ate up in more taxes rather than a serious substantive raise for our teachers. Roland, this has gotten so desperate for the governor that he was at the White House the other day, caught on a hot mic talking to Mike Johnson about this issue. And that's why they call 50, because at the end of the day, 50 is a businessman looking to advance himself in his business. And I don't have an issue with 50 coming to Shreveport and doing business. I don't have an issue with him buying up property. I don't have an issue with him attempting to revitalize Shreveport. I do have an issue with you saying that this is something that's good for us because you heard it from some white politicians in our state.
So again, the Democrats don't want you listening to anyone except them. How you doing, virtual reality? Lately, I've been getting flyers on my car and doorknobs from Black Democrats running for mayor in small towns outside of Chicago. I laugh and shred it up, toss it right into the trash. Right, virtual reality? Can't say I blame you, Chubbs. Roland better read about the rich man in the Bible who died and went to Hades. The poor man he treated badly was in Abraham's arms. Yes, facts. Monique said, I wonder how much they paid him to say that. Monique, Ezra, yeah, we found out after the failed election bid from the Curry Queen, they have to pay everyone to say something. It's all about the dollars. I'll continue.
I would also tell you that Democrats in the state Senate did vote for this, but ask Black folks in the state of Louisiana if they showed up overwhelmingly for the Democrats that are in the Senate. The answer is no. We've had abysmal voter turnout in this state over the last couple of years. We've never had, in Baton Rouge, I looked this up recently, Roland, in Baton Rouge, in the last 20 years, there's not been a single legislative race where 50% of the people showed up to vote. So it's telling me that a senator supported this is not telling me that this is what the people of the state of Louisiana support. Also, right now, 37% of turnout in the state of Louisiana is Black. If 12 to 15% of white people agree with what Black voters are saying right now in this state, we end up defeating the governor and sending a message to him and the state legislature that you got to do better than this. The other thing is, we don't need confusion. We're telling people to vote no on all four.
Why are you telling people to vote? Let people vote the way they choose to vote. Tijuana Border Jumper, thank you so much for your super chat. Okay, let's open the books and see where the money is going. Tijuana, send Doge out. And that will explain a lot. Chubbs, if you listen to Dems, go ahead and make you an appointment with the closest brain doctor. You may have brain damage and didn't know it. Yes. Right, Lanita. Black people can think for themselves. Why did the Democrats, and I noticed that every election cycle, they have all these flyers telling you who to vote for. Why can't you think for yourself and vote for who you choose to vote for? Oh, that's right, because it's a cult.
To have 50 come in and say voting yes on 2, that's entering in confusion to a simple message. No on all 4 because they're all bad for the people of Louisiana.
Did the Power Coalition, did you or any others, did 50 Cent reach out to Black activists to talk to them about any of this?
I've never had a conversation with 50. I reached out to you. I reached out to some other folks on the national level who I felt may have a relationship with the brother, because look, you may not know, okay? I'm trying to give the brother the benefit of the doubt. 50, you may not understand how this will hurt working class people, how this is gonna hurt poor people. You may not have read the legislation because it's such a complicated piece of legislation that people sued in order to have it removed from the ballot because the language is so long and complicated because it's confusing. The reality is this policy is gonna restructure our tax plan, cost poor people more money, help rich people keep more of their money, and it's a bad deal for the working class people of Louisiana. It is also disappointing when Black folks who have acquired a certain level of wealth talk to wealthy white people to come then tell Black folks what they ought to do. I think that's a disingenuous position. I can appreciate him coming into our state, but oh boy, mind your business when it comes to this one.
See, the Democrats, they are not about diversity, equity, and inclusion when you are not on board with their agenda. We've been saying that for the past, year or two? So that's why he's salty. And again, how much has he been paid to say this? All the Democrats are following the liberal agenda. So they're paid to say what they're saying. We found that out. I'll continue.
So
hit the like button, please, folks. Thank you so much.
And so here's the deal. Let's be real clear. Jeff Landry is MAGA to his core. And it's not like this is about Black folk.
Roland, you know what blows me about this? I wasn't going to go there, but I'm going to go there. 50 wouldn't say nothing about the national politics that impacts the entirety of Black people in America. Couldn't get you to open your mouth about what Black folks should do in the presidential election. Now we got the Department of Education being torn down, where Black folks are questioned about so many funding mechanisms that take care of Black children, special needs children. You use special needs children in your messaging while they're dismantling the Department of Education, and you're trusting the people who are aiding and abetting that process to govern the state of Louisiana with just and equitable policies. If you don't want to say nothing about the national politics where you have national influence, please don't come down here meddling in our local state issues when you have a platform to be able to influence Black people all over this country. But it seems you only want to use that when it's beneficial to you. And I call it bullshit on that.
MAGA Maha, yes. MAGA Maha, before you got here, we had it up. They're passing out flyers. They're telling them who to vote for. And as Queen Adaya said, they don't want you thinking for yourself. They give you, hey, this is who you vote for. Ruby, these people are embracing prosperity and generational wealth. No one cares about these Democrat reactivists. Exactly. They're looking out for their butter biscuits and their checks. That's it. They don't care about these people. They're telling them who to vote for. But that's it. They don't care anything about these people. How you doing, Doreen? And Connie, how are you doing? Please hit the like button, folks. I will continue.
So let's go through these amendments for folk who don't understand. First off, Amendment 1 would allow the Louisiana legislature to create trial courts of specialized jurisdiction and provide Supreme Court original jurisdiction to discipline out-of-state lawyers. Walk us through that.
So this basically says that if an out-of-state lawyer does something that the courts oppose, that they give them the ability to create special courts. Roland, you understand the complexities of what it takes to put something into the Constitution. This gives them broad powers to create new courts. We oppose that. While specialty courts can be a benefit, we don't want new broad sweeping powers for them to go in and create specialty courts that they're going to end up penalizing lawyers with. The Supreme Court of the state of Louisiana can already deal with out-of-state lawyers. We don't need a new court system to do it. More bureaucracy.
All right. We talked about Amendment 2. So let's go to Amendment 3. It would allow the Louisiana legislature to decide which crimes could lead to a juvenile being tried as an adult. Additionally, this would allow lawmakers to change rules over time without needing a constitutional amendment.
So right now, 80% of the kids in juvenile justice system in Louisiana are Black kids. So we know that these laws are generated to lock up more Black kids. But
okay, so they're getting back to the Democratic mantra, right? So he's telling Black people They're changing this amendment so they can lock up even more Black children. News flash. Hit the like button for me, folks. Right, here we go again, Baldwinberg. Right. Again, this goes back to the home, and I am for you commit adult crimes. You don't need to go to juvenile for 2 or 3 years and then you're back on the streets. I don't care what color you are. Okay. It's a safety issue, and you're out here committing adult crimes. Guess what? There are consequences. Mayor, they're so dumb. President Trump has done more for Black people than any other president. Mayor, when you have that much hate in your heart, you cannot see the good that someone is doing. And you're absolutely right. Chubbs, if you do the crime, do the time. Yes. How many of you have that television channel, Discovery ID, and you have teenagers out here committing all kinds of heinous crimes? No, you don't need to go to juvenile detention and come back out on the street. You need to be confined. Fishing Kid, yes. Thank you. It was the Democrat governor that left people on the roofs during Hurricane Katrina. Thank you, Ruby. That mayor, the governor, was not a Republican. It was a Democrat. Exactly. Thank you, MAGA Maha, for dropping in, love. And so I'm just saying, this is what they keep going back to, that they're locking up Black children. Hey, I've been in education for 27 years, and I've been hearing the same old story. Particularly, we're suspending more Black males than any other demographic. So again, what are we supposed to do? And I've told people, no one is picking on Black males. Those of you who understand how education works, and some of you are prior educators, you know we don't have that kind of time. Okay? I could tell you some things going on in the schools. What are we supposed to do when you tell someone to do something, they ignore you or they curse you out, regardless of the race? What are we supposed to do? Yes, Robert. Mayor, racism is their agenda. And that's what I'm saying. Has nothing to do with racism. It has to do with, these are rules. Like I talk to some students. Again, I teach students from every race and ethnicity. These are the rules. Follow the rules or their consequences. That has nothing to do with race. Queen, yes. Starts at home. So no one is picking on Black males. And again, every time I hear people, well, the education system creates the prison, school to the prison pipeline. I didn't create anything. If you did not raise your children properly, you created that, not me. I will not take responsibility because you did not raise your children. That's on you. Chubbs, Dems keep you down. They can control you. Right, exactly. That's how they operate. I'll continue. Thank you, Bach Mari. Mary Landry was the governor of Louisiana at the time of Hurricane Katrina. Thank you.
Here's the reality. District attorneys in Louisiana are already charging juveniles as adults. They already last year took kids out of juvenile correctional facilities and placed them in Angola Penitentiary. He just put a proposal forth to spend $36 million on a new juvenile detention center in Rapides Parish, while we are looking for funding for tutoring programs. This is not about helping Black children. This is not about making our community safer. If he was serious about making...
The Democrats don't help Black children either. Look at all of the Democratic-run cities. They're like war zones. So stop it with this. This is against Black children. You and the Democratic Party, sir, are against the Black children. Okay? You've done all of the Democratic cities. Who the heck would want to live there? I wouldn't. They're not safe. Yes, Imuna. Thank you, dear. How you doing, Aurelius? And so they need to stop with this spiel.
Making our community safer. He took that $36 million and invested in community programs to tutor these kids and give them after school programs.
Okay. And again, I told you, me being in the system, I can there's a lot I can say. Some I can't say until I retire because I'm still a part of the system. All this money he's talking about for tutoring. News flash. Let me tell you what I have witnessed. I have worked at a school where tutoring was offered. Teachers were willing, they were paying teachers to come in early before school started, early in the mornings. They provided transportation, buses, right? Do you think those kids, the kids who needed it, do you think they came to tutoring? I'll wait. Type it in the comment section. But news flash, let me tell you what they will come to school early for. And again, this is what I see with my own eyes. This is what I've seen, not what I've been told. I'll see students at school in the mornings, 5 o'clock, basketball practice. I'm telling you what I have witnessed, not what I've been told. They're there. Their parents, they'll have them there for basketball practice. Something educationally speaking, we don't have a ride. Can't get them there. Get out of here with this nonsense. Katrinka, how you doing? No, they're not queen, but they'll have their child at basketball practice at 5 o'clock in the morning. But if it comes to them, if they're not reading on grade level, which many of them are not, do you think that they would sacrifice and bring their child in? No, they don't. Don't get me started on that. Now you opened up a Pandora's box. How you doing, Katrinka? I'm telling you what I have witnessed. This is what is taking place in the schools. So stop it with all these, well, this money is for tutoring. Get out of here with that nonsense. It's a joke. More wasted taxpayer money. That's what it is. Ruby, we make a way. Exactly. Right. I've had a friend, coworker. She taught at the elementary level. Before school would get out for the summertime, she would contact parents, give parents a list of books and a list of activities, things they could do to get their child at reading level, at the level they need to be at for math, every other subject. Do you think they took the time to do that? No, they did not. Don't get me started with all the wasted money and all these school programs to help the kids who are lagging behind. And they don't take advantage of it. Their parents, for the most part, don't make them. They dump their kids. They think I'm a professional babysitter and I am not. Chubbs, if a person pushes an old lady in front of a truck, should we worry about what happens to that person in prison? Chubbs, I don't care what happens to them. I'm concerned about the old lady. That's just where I'm at this point. Brother Sean, many of their parents, Brother Sean, I've seen them get up and drop them off early at basketball practice. If we ask them to bring them so we can get their child at reading level. Oh, well, the car is broken down, or I don't have a car, or I don't have a way. You find a way for basketball practice. So lose me with that nonsense. Lose me with this. Well, we need this money for tutoring and we need this money, more wasted money. Take it and do something else with it. Okay, Imuna. Say it, Roland. Yes, Queen, I have stories, again, that I have witnessed, not what I've been told. I have stories, I do, and they're all true. I agree, Miss Roland, let them pay, for what they did, yes. Katrinka, okay. Democrats in Louisiana must really be scared of these amendments. Yes, I totally agree with you. Starts at home. It's the way kids are being. Right, Tina? You committed a heinous crime. I don't care what happens to you in jail. That's between you and whoever you serve. Don't care. I care about the victims. That's who I care about. How are they doing if they're still alive? Right? That's just where I'm at, folks. Tijuana Border Jumper, thank you for the super chat, love. I'm sending you some more hearts. You see, I get passionate when it comes to this because I know what I have witnessed personally. The education system needs a reset. Get to basics. Yeah, school was turned into a social media experience more than a learning experience as we were graduating in 82. Okay, Tijuana, thank you for that commentary, love. Yeah, it's a joke. And I'm glad that T is dismantling the Department of Education. Should have been dismantled years ago. It's failing. It's been failing for 50 years. Look at all these companies that didn't change. As much as I loved Kmart, they wouldn't change. What happened to them? They went out of business. You don't get to stay around and you're not, a success. You're not making money. My girls are grown now, but don't let me have to leave work. There were consequences. Rod of correction in hand. Yes, spare the rod, spoil the child. Queen, that's biblical. Yes. How you doing, Sup? Hit the like button for me. Okay, so yes, Sup. Again, as Queen said, when I'm retired, I will tell you the stories. There's a lot I'm not at liberty to say now, but I will when I retire. Yes, Katrinka, foolishness. I knew a little girl, she's 13 now, who got an end of the year award for learning gibberish word. Yeah, it's crazy. Here we go.
In some of these communities where these things are happening, district attorneys already have the power to charge these juveniles as adults. What this would do is give the legislature the ability to throw a bunch more charges in there that they can put our kids in jail for. So a kid who stole a $500 cell phone could end up in an adult correctional facility. And
how about teach the child not to steal a $500 cell phone? Oh, that's right. That's too much like doing right. Okay. Tijuana Border Jumper. I was getting in trouble over friends at school. My father asked what was causing the problem. When I mentioned friends, my dad said, I'm sending you to school to learn, not make friends. Tijuana, that's what the old folks told me. Yeah, they said that all the time. Mayor, I am going to write a book once I retire. Yes, love, I am. Chubb, school, where I went to, I played football. I could get up out of class and go to the gym. I wish someone would have stopped that. I would be smarter today. Chubbs, that's okay. So Chubbs, yeah, and you're fine, Chubbs. You're not dumb. But choices, things you were allowed to do. That's how that was. I've said it before. My kids grew up in Dodge schools. When they finally had to transfer to public education, they were bored because they were 3 to 5 years ahead of the other student. U.S. Army. Excellent point. We always see that when students come from Dodge. Tijuana Border Jumper, make your book juicy. It will say, yes, Tijuana. And it's all true. Of course, I won't be able to use names, but it's I know what I've witnessed. And I've taught several different school districts for 27 years now, and I'm here at the end. Thank you so much, Sup. Thank you so much. I'll continue.
Reality is you end up with kids that are more broken than they are fixed by that. We end up with kids that are tainted by the justice system rather than given the tools that they need to be successful in this life. And the last thing I'll say on that, Roland, is you don't get a Gary Chambers if rules like that existed in Louisiana, because I was a kid who was arrested for the first time at 12, arrested again at 16, and arrested again at 21. Never was I arrested for something that I was actually guilty of. Okay? So let's be clear.
Now, this guy here said that he's been arrested 3 times, but he wasn't guilty of anything. Now, this is what this guy says. Sounds like a liberal to me. 3 times, really, guy? 3 times. He said he was been arrested, but he did not commit a crime. Connie, my sister, a retired teacher, taught 4th grade in New Orleans. She felt 2 children shouldn't go to the next grade. The principal told her to pass them because it would hurt their self-esteem. But Connie, do you know how many people walk across the graduation stage? Again, in my career, I've seen students to miss over 50 days. But the schools are so concerned about their each high school's graduation rate can be found, of course, online, and it's in the newspaper, it's on the news, right? So they pass a lot of people that shouldn't be walking across that stage. I told you, I can tell you some stories. I've seen it all, just about. Yeah, the blue light special. Yeah, I miss Kmart. They just wouldn't change. They were stuck in the 1970s and wouldn't change. Aurelius, Roland, you remind me so much of my first teacher when I came to NYC. Thank you, Aurelius. I hope she was a good teacher. Ruby. Ruby said my book disclaimer should be the names were changed to protect the guilty. Yes, of course, I can't use names and things, but yeah, you're right. Why do people who do crime say I've been arrested 3 or 4 times but didn't do? This guy said he's been arrested 3 times, but he did not commit any crimes. He did not do anything wrong. Yes, Queen. Yes. All of you know where I'm going with this. Why are you arrested 3 or 4 times and you didn't do anything wrong? I don't get that. And I don't believe there's no such thing as bad luck either. All right, I'll continue. Tijuana Border Jumper, thank you for the super chat, love. My parents told me they would hold me back a grade if I didn't improve. Trust me, I buckled that. Right. Now they just keep on passing them along. The elementary schools pass them to the middle schools pass them to us. They can't read, they can't do basic math, they can't tell time, they can't do anything. They're just passing the buck.
Every black kid that gets in contact with the cops is not necessarily a criminal or wrong, but the system in this state should not become more punitive. It should become more prosperous and give young people the ability to find avenues for prosperity rather than punishment.
Okay, let's go to Amendment 4. Would allow the state to fill the vacancies for new courts using the earliest election date allowed by state law, which are often low turnouts.
They want to do just what they're doing right here in this March 29th election where most people aren't paying attention. The governor was caught on a hot mic saying they thought the turnout was going to be 12%. Now they're predicting that the turnout is going to be around 22%. They know that low turnout elections allow them to get judges of their choosing on the bench, and that does not benefit the global population of this state to get an equitable and fair judiciary. And again, when you talk about these low turnout elections, look, they understand how things helps them and how it helps them being able to turn out. In fact, this is a NOLA small business owner, Matthew Wolin Weber. He posted this. This is his graphic on the. Give me 1 second. It's not.
Let me get rid of the commercial. Ruby said, "Do you see me in the bathroom? It wasn't me." Chubbs. He hung around Tiffany and smoked too much weed, and it's fried his brain. Oh my God. Hilarious.
We'll figure out why. Give me a second. He posted a graphic on this election here. This is how he broke it down. He calls Amendment 1 shady specialty courts. Amendment 2 tax cuts for the rich. Amendment 3 dismantling juvenile justice. Amendment 4 tinkering with judicial election.
So those of you just coming into the chat, hit that like button for me, please. And yes, so the correspondence that they're passing out in the Black communities has all of the amendments on there, and it's telling them to vote no on all of the amendments. and it's not, they're not being forthcoming. So they're saying that Amendment 1, how you doing, Rhonda? Is has shady specialty courts. Number 2, Amendment 2, tax cuts for the rich. Amendment 3 is dismantling the juvenile justice, and what they're saying is going to lock more black kids up. Amendment 4, tinkering with judicial elections. So we know that again, word salad, right? And the Democrats don't get it. No one is listening to them, and that's why everything that they support, the American people are against. That's quite obvious. How you doing, Rhonda? We're glad you're here. Hit the like button, please. Roland is a eunuch. Okay. Robert, arrested 3 or 4 times and not done anything wrong. Robert, I was waiting for someone to say, yeah, he said, that's what he said. He said, and I didn't do anything. Why were you arrested all of these times, sir? Once, okay, but 3 or 4 times? Yes, Ruby, they're local den of thieves. Hold them accountable, yes. All right, here we go. Tina, I do too. I wish people would check it out for themselves and stop listening to these people. Monique, I'll have to go check that out and see. Monique, while we're listening to this, I'm going to look that up. Thank you.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. It is short, to the point, and accurate to what this is. These policies are all bad for the state of Louisiana. I really hope that 50 finds some new relationships in our state so that he doesn't come meddling in and trying to tell black folks. And let me tell you something. I know he doesn't care, but there's not a single black person that I've talked to today that felt anything positive from getting that text message from 50. And I would hope that somebody like him would not allow people to use him as a tool, because if you are as bad as you say you are, then you should be coming in, influencing and changing things rather than getting those people to use you like a piece of equipment.
Talking about tools being used, this guy is being used by the Democratic Party. Yes, Queen, it does. Bet he was arrested and convicted. U.S. Army. Now, I'm sorry if he said once, okay, but you've been arrested all those times and you didn't do anything wrong. This guy is full of it. He is full of it. And you know what I mean. Come on now. No, not buying it. How you doing, Bill? ABC TV. Yeah, it's short, to the point, just what they want people to think it is and not actually. Yes. All right, let me continue.
This was that you mentioned the video, the hot mic. This is it. This is when MAGA Governor Jeff Landry was in Washington, D.C., and he's here with House Speaker Mike Johnson. Folks, listen to this.
What's the anticipated term?
I don't know if you can hear it, so I'll put the closed captioning on.
Well, we thought it would be 12, but it looks like it might be 18%. Yeah. This week, 20% Jefferson. Okay.
Johnson, Speaker of the House from Louisiana, Shreveport.
I try to tell folks all the time, you got folks from the 50th ranked state in the nation running the whole damn country. And I've been screaming to pay attention to the elections in Louisiana, because this little raggedy place that people try to ignore is punching above its weight every day. You got a guy from Caddo Parish, Louisiana, standing at the White House with Jeff Landry, caught on a hot mic. These same people are justifying folks who can't even text correctly, can't even operate a simple process of evaluation within their government. And these are the people that you want to trust with the government. The rest of the country should pay attention to these deep South states, because people like Jeff Landry are friends with people like Mike Johnson, and Mike Johnson is dismantling the country before our eyes with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And if you ignore these elections, if you're not paying attention to what's happening here, it'll be knocking on your door soon enough.
And folks, if you want to understand why it's important when you talk about how they want to change the law to benefit business owners, you might say, well, okay, but what's the big deal? Where does Louisiana stand? Go to my iPad. These are the rankings, y'all. When it comes to crime and corrections, Louisiana, the 50th ranked state in America. The economy, the 49th ranked state. Education, 47th. Fiscal stability, 41st. Healthcare, 46th. Infrastructure, 49th. Natural environment, 49th. Opportunity, 44th. That's not where you want to be. The highest ranking for Louisiana, Gary, is fiscal stability at 41. You don't want to be in the bottom of states in America.
So with a 41st ranked fiscal stability, you're going to go in and now move the money that we put in stability funds. You're going to move the money that we put in rainy day funds. You're going to move. We already in the bottom 10 of the whole country. I tell people all the time, there are people in this.
They're in the bottom tier. And of course, he wants to keep them in the bottom tier. U.S. Army, tell how long Democrats have run that state. I don't need to say, you said it before I could. I'm just saying. Ruby, nobody is using Curtis Jackson. He's getting the bag and attempting the others. Yes, he's trying to help other people. But these Democratic shields don't want to see that. Tina, I'm with you. They're not straight up. Bertha, how are you? I don't agree with him either. Oh, my God. Oh, what a mess. Connie, what's his point? How would he make it better? Connie, he's not. He's a Democrat. He wants to keep everyone poor and dependent on the government. Traveling Mom, how you doing? All right, hit the like button, folks. We're almost to 60 likes. Let me let this finish, and I'm going to show you the results from the vote.
State who love to be first in the worst. There are people here who are committed to being great and being the last. And I think that we have to make a collective decision that you won't allow people with small thinking to have a big impact. Okay. And the way that you minimize that is by supporting people and the elections and the initiatives that are happening in the places that nobody else is expecting to have an impact on your life. Trump understands that these people are simple-minded like Mike Johnson. Trump understands that they are linear focused on one thing, and that is white supremacy and religious control within this country.
Now, you knew this interview was not going to end without hearing about white supremacy, of course, being at the root of this problem. Shocking. Oh, my God. Mayor, they spend the money on themselves instead of the people. Yes, exactly. Oh, my God.
And whatever they do in order to make that happen, they don't care what it costs you or how uncomfortable it makes your life, as long as they accomplish that goal. They don't care how much Trump destroys other aspects of the government if it helps them accomplish their end goal, which is putting more mediocre white men in positions of power over you.
Again, folks.
You knew that. You knew it was coming. It's not a surprise. Oh, my God. Mayor said, what happened to all the money that was sent to the Katrina victims? Where's Doge? Send in Doge. I'm saying. Right, Tina? The fishing kit, right? We know it always comes back to white supremacy. Again, they're still pushing the liberal agenda.
Big election tomorrow in Louisiana. Call your friends, post on social media, tell your folks to turn out. Black numbers are huge in Louisiana and can be the deciding factor in that state. And you're right. Listen, if Black folks turn out in those numbers as you laid out, as you've been laying out in early voting, that could be the difference in this being defeated, Gary, and forcing the governor to have to come back to the table and frankly negotiate with the people on a real economic plan for Louisiana.
That is exactly right, Roland. I thank you as always, brother, for highlighting the issues of our people here in this state. Please text your people, call your people. If 5 to 10.
All right, that's enough of him. Let me show you the results. I cannot. Oh my goodness. All right, here we are. Hope everyone can see. Hit that like button for me, please, folks. Yes, Chubbs, brainwashed. Connie, he's a racist, not helping his own makes no sense. Connie, they get money for themselves. They don't care about anyone else. Election result, Louisiana voters reject constitutional amendments. All right. Louisiana voters rejected all 4 proposed amendments to the state constitution on Saturday. Voter turnout was just over 21%, according to the Louisiana Secretary of State. Here's a breakdown of the results. So they went and got those people out, and they voted against their own best interest. But oh well, thank God I don't live in Louisiana. I hope you can see this. All right. These are the relative percentages for the First Amendment. 35% in favor, 65% against. And Orleans Parish, the vote was 9% for yes, 91% for no. East Baton Rouge, 25% yes, 75% no. Okay. Let's go to Amendment 2. Which was, okay. Trying to change the tax code. The changes would have included capping the income tax rate at a flat 3%, lowering the corporate income tax to 5.5%, eliminating the corporate franchise tax. Let me highlight this for you. The final vote results, 35% for yes, 65% for no in Orleans Parish. It results 9% for yes, 91% for no. East Baton Rouge Parish, 26% yes, 74% no. Is Roland Martin still looking at those? Probably, Robert. Chubbs, exactly. That's why the state is in the situation that it's in. Tina, American citizens need to start suing the Democrat. I've said that. Let's do a class action suit, especially with what they've done the past 4 years. Treason. Next, Amendment 3. And again, I am so glad I don't live there. 34% voted in favor of the measure. 66% voted against it. Because again, they're out there preaching that propaganda. It's going to throw more. This amendment is to throw more Black teenagers in jail. That's the mantra of the Democratic Party. And they're the only ones who locked up more Black people than anyone. But okay. In the Orleans Parish, the vote was 9% for yes, 91% for no. East Baton Rouge Parish, 25% yes, 75% no. Okay. The last amendment, final vote, right here. 36% for yes, 64% no in Orleans Parish. The results were 10% for yes and 90% for no. In East Baton Rouge Parish, the results were 29% for yes and 71% for no. Okay. So those were the stats, folks. Wow. Okay. Tell me what your thoughts are. That's all I have for you. Yeah, they're never going to improve. And you can't fix stupid U.S. Army. You can't. Again, I'm just glad I don't live there. Here in North Carolina, we just had lawmakers just made a change where you don't have to take a class. The concealed carry. So we're loving it here. But a lot of people already have their concealed permit. But that's, of course, going to cut the sheriff's department out of all that money they were making. Mayor, it is sad. Chubbs, Roland and that man knew most people don't read the amendments and listen to people like them. Yeah, they're out here telling them, and they told them that they passed out the flyers. This is how you vote. Vote no on all of these. And they were able to get enough people out to vote and listen to what their propaganda that they were preaching. It is sad. All right. That's all I have for you. I don't know. I'll be live again this week sometime. And I just have to see what happens. Now, is it tomorrow that they have the vote? Supervisor Hinyard was trying to showing people how to write her name in. It's so sad. She doesn't realize it's over. That's just sad. That's real sad. Michael, really no class? Yes, Michael, here in North Carolina. Yes. No concealed. Before you had to have your concealed carry permit. They got rid of it. That's going to cut the sheriff departments out of a lot of money. All right. Okay. Let's see where we are here. Good night, Chubbs. Yes, I'll be this just happened as of March 30th, 2025. A concealed carry permit is not required in North Carolina for residents 18 years of age or older. They just made this change. It was Senate Bill 50. Freedom to carry. So North Carolina, freedom to carry. So yeah. No permit required. I love it. Okay. Ruby, Louisiana's ranked 46th in education. Yep. Stop wasting that money. Do something else with that money, something where you can get a return on your investment, because you're sure not going to get it there. Tina, appreciate you too, love. I'm glad you're here. Chubb says, in Georgia, you don't have to have one, but I keep mine in case I'm in another state. Okay, Chubbs, that's good. Okay. Okay, Laurie. Yeah, we're going to go. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going straight to the comment section and talk to you as long as you are there. I enjoyed all of you. I'll probably go live, I don't know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, who knows? Just depends on what's going on. Thank you, Fallen Birds. So I'll come to you and talk to you as long as you are there in the chat. Thank you again for spending your very valuable time here at the Roland's Reviews YouTube channel. Yeah, Laurie, what a mess. What a mess. All right, I'm on the way to the chat section. Thank you again.